we doing? They can't hear you. I want to say good afternoon to everybody. So glad y'all tuned in with us again on this week. Hope you guys been enjoying this 4-part series that we've been doing over the last 3 Fridays. Last Friday we talked about what it is that a woman needs from her man. And the Friday before that we talked about what it is that a man needs from his woman. And so last Friday, the women said that they thought I talked a little bit too much. I didn't get a women a chance to say everything. They said I kept interrupting them. So we're gonna come back in a couple of weeks and get a women another chance to dog the men out like they wanted to do last Friday. I was fighting for the men last Friday. I was showing up for the home team, but they wanted to go off on us, and they said I didn't give them a chance to go off like they wanted to. So today we want to talk about what is the church doing with my money, and so been getting a lot of feedback on that this week, and a lot of people send me text messages and different things. And so today, as we had a conversation about what it is that the church is doing with our money, I want you guys to comment on some questions and different things that you guys want us to talk about today. I want you to go into if you're watching live, I want you to go in here and comment and just give us your feedback on the way you feel about the way our churches today are approaching giving and things of that nature. And we want to hear what you guys are saying and what you're thinking on today. And so we've been doing some research on giving and how it's being affected in 2020, and the reality is that less than 2% of millennials are tithing to the church. Right. So out of every 100 millennial, there's only 1% of them that are giving at least 10% of their finances to the church. And as you get to the older generations, it goes from 1% to 3%. To 5%, and then we get to the oldest generation at 7%. And so when you look at our society as a whole, there's not one group of people where you can say that at least 10% of that group of people is giving tithes to the church. Right. And so our as a society, the importance that we put on giving to the church and the importance that we put on paying our tithes and offerings is becoming less and less. And so we want to talk about that today. I got our executive pastor at New Generation Church, Ahmad Mutasa. I got him with us on today. And I got one of my new members at the church, Vince Joyner. He owns a barber and a beauty school in Little Rock. And so been here at the church with me for about 4 months. And so I wanted to kind of get his opinion on on how he felt about giving to the church before he started coming to the church, and how he feels about giving after he has been involved, and so he's actively involved in what we're doing. And so I wanted to just get his opinion and his viewpoint on some of those things. And so let's get started in our dialogue today about what is the church doing with my money. So Vince, I want to start with you today, man. I want to start with you today. So before you and your wife, you and your lovely wife start coming to church here, or you going to church anywhere else?
No, I won't go to church nowhere.
We're going to church nowhere. Okay.
Not right before I came.
Okay, right before you came. Okay. All right. So you weren't going to church. Were you giving since you wasn't going to church, was you giving money to any church?
Well, let me rephrase.
Okay, rephrase it. Yeah, rephrase it. Okay.
Now, I was going to church.
Okay.
It's just that the church that I was going to, it was just it was so big that
okay.
I probably didn't really get. I ain't gonna say I got noticed. You know, I
right.
As a member.
Right.
It was a real large church. I really just was going for the information, pretty much.
Right. Well, don't say the name because we don't want them.
I'm not gonna
don't say the name.
Yeah.
Don't say the name. Don't say the name. We're trying to get some more members, so don't say the name. Yeah. So okay. So it's a really large church, and you probably wasn't being, you was going for the information. So what about the financial side? Was you giving to the church?
Yeah, I still gave to the church though, because I just really believe, just based off my background, man, I just believe that, you should give where you're going.
Right.
And that, the church got to keep their doors open some kind of way.
Right.
And it just, I know it says in the Bible, you're supposed to give at least a 10% of what you make. So
yeah.
That's just, I make sure I do my duty, my due diligence, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Vince said he know the Bible say.
Yeah, I said that's what
my man. Yeah, that's what it says. So you being that 1%, right? You being that 1%. Out of 100 people, we see about 1% of the people are actually giving their tithes and offerings, and as I talk to pastors across the country, and even as we see giving in our own church, we can see that that's pretty accurate. Out of a certain amount of people, you see that there's about 1 to 5% of the people who are actually paying their tithes and offerings, and then everybody else just kind of gives a little bit here and there. I guess whatever's comfortable or whatever's convenient. Yeah, they're tipping God. So in saying that, when you were giving your money to the church, what did you think that the church was doing with your money?
I really can't say I don't know exactly what they were doing. They had a lot of things going on in the church, but I wasn't really sure exactly where my money was going.
Right.
I don't know.
Did you ever look at the situation in the church? Do you ever think to yourself, man, maybe they was mismanaging the money? Did you ever feel like that?
Yeah, I've been to plenty of churches where I thought they was mismanaging the money. Most definitely. Yeah.
So when we talk about mismanaging the money, like what were some things that you kind of seen that you thought to yourself, man, that just don't look right, or
I don't know, just sometimes when you see them pastors with them overpriced vehicles, just over the top. I'm just saying, I done seen pastors in Rolls Royces, Bentleys and everything.
Yeah, that's the biggest argument right there. Is the pastor driving the Cadillac, the pastor driving the Bentley and the Rolls Royce. So yeah, that's what we want to hear about. So you see the pastor driving the Bentley and the
real nice vehicles, and I didn't even been to a church where my pastor had a private jet on his own. I know it seems crazy, but it's the truth. I ain't gonna name no church names.
Yeah, don't name the names.
It ain't too many churches where the pastor had his own jet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a couple of different locations and everything.
So when you seen that, you thought to yourself that it made you call into question what the church was doing with the money.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. And so I know some of y'all are probably like VJ today. Y'all it's a common theme that I hear. A lot of people look at the pastor. They look at the things that the cars that he drives and the different things that he have, and it calls into question sometimes what the church is doing with the money that people give and the people tithe. And so let me ask you this, VJ. When you looked at the things, what about the other things that the church was doing?
That let me know that they were mismanaging their money.
Yeah, could you see them doing other things in the community? Or did you see?
Yeah, I could personally see them doing that in the community. That's what I'm saying. Like, even though it was a large church,
right?
Like the church was large, but the people was poor, pretty much.
Right.
But I didn't feel like the church really gave back.
Right.
Or I was really, benefiting.
Right.
Benefiting in a way, as far as spiritually or
right.
mentally or whatever. Yeah, I didn't feel like it was a benefit.
Right.
At the same time, I knew I had to do what I was supposed to do as far as my obligations. Right. But I didn't feel like I was really receiving anything.
Right. So what about y'all? What about you guys? Do you think today that a church should give back to the community? Do you think that should a church even give back to its members? Do you think that the church should be actively looking and pursuing ways to take some of the finances that they've raised and actively be pursuing a way to give back to the community in a financial way? Now I know many churches we give away food and we give away love and we give away prayers and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times churches don't actually give away money. And so how do you guys feel about that? We want to hear how you feel about that. Okay, Amar. So you didn't grow up traditionally in the church, right? You didn't grow up traditionally maybe a Christian background like some of us. So coming into the church from a non-traditional background, what did you see as far as you seen how you thought finances were being handled?
Yeah, I mean my first initial experience with the church, it was a very large church, like Vince was saying. And just so happened, I mean, the first church that I remember joining, the pastor had a jet. The pastor had multiple locations, but I did kind of see why he needed a jet, because he was actually flying from city to city, and I think he even had a church in another country.
Right.
So, I mean, I could understand to a certain perspective why he would need one. But there were concerns that I had about, how much was the actual pastor getting paid?
Right.
Especially, again, like the same thing with Vince saying, when you see people struggling in the congregation, but then you see, one person kind of just living luxury, that concerns me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, I mean, especially, now that I've grown up, and I read the Bible for myself, I mean, I understand that we're supposed to be sharing resources within the church body. So, to me, that's hypocritical. If one person is just living completely lavish, then you got another member that's homeless.
Right.
That's real challenging. So I did see a lot of those stories about people just having loaded with money, it was concerning.
Right. So how do you guys feel about that? You got some members in the church who are very, very well off. You have some members in the church who are barely making it, and even the pastor himself. What about the pastor who is doing very, very well, and every Sunday he's asking the church to give, and it seems that maybe him and a few people are really benefiting from that, but a lot of people in the congregation are barely making it. I want to hear what you guys think about that. Now, I want to ask this question because here's something that's very prevalent in the African American community. And what that is that over 90% of the pastors in the African American community, they pastor a church and they also have a job, right? And so oftentimes, we see pastors who do well, and oftentimes people feel like it's because of the church, but oftentimes it's because they have a very, very good job. AKA Pastor Harris. Yeah, AKA Pastor Harris, right? So tell me how what's y'all viewpoint on that? So so we talk about the giving in the church, and you got a pastor who also has a job, but also pastors the church. A lot of times that can be misleading to people, right? Yeah. On the financial side, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of like what I was saying. Like with that, just coming from that perspective, I'm saying like. It was different, like when I came here, and I even though you work for everything that you got, I know a lot about your story, I know a lot about your background, so I know you work hard to get where you're going, to get where you got right now, and outside of that, I know that you you give back, and then a lot of things that you do and you say it benefits me personally, right, in my life and my family, so. It lets me know that I'm going in the right direction, and I'm tithing or whatever seed in the right direction, because like ever since
You see the benefits.
Yeah, life been getting a lot better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For me, so that's how I determine if I'm going in the right direction or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what Vijay just said is so important. Like when we give, right, we're sowing our seed in the fertile ground. We should see some results of that seed that's being sown. Yeah, we should be sowing with expectancy. So we should see some results of anybody who sows a seed and does not expect a result is foolish. So you should be looking for results. So I'm glad to hear that you feel like you're getting some results out of the seed that you're sowing. So what do you think about that, Bob? A pastor who was bivocation, he has a job and he also pastors a church.
So let's just take you for instance. You're exempt from this conversation.
Finally, I'm getting exempt from a conversation.
You're exempt from this conversation.
Right.
And I say that because, just my time spending with you, you were a successful businessman before you even planted a church. And then even while you are the pastor of the church, you give far and beyond 10%.
Right.
So you are exempt from this conversation. Now, if the church made you a millionaire and you greedy and stingy with your money, I am looking at you upside your head.
Right.
Because, that's just not right.
Right. Okay, so BJ, let's talk about what the church should be doing with the money. I want you to tell me your opinion. What do you think? So you give 10% of your income, right? You come in on Sundays, you give 10% of your income, and then you stop by the pastor's love offering. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I know you're gonna stop by the pastor's love offering. I see you. I know you're gonna touch him every Sunday, right?
Yeah.
But you stop by that, so you give your 10%, right? And so tell me, what is your expectations of us? As your church home, your church family, tell me what do you when you give that? Tell me what do you expect for us to do?
Really just to kind of make that question perfect. It's not what I really expect you to do,
Right.
But in the sense what I expect God to do for me. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So in order for me to know that I'm going, like I said again, going in the right direction, I have to sow, and then I have to see what's the benefits behind that.
Right.
And then once the benefit happens, I'm just gonna keep sowing more and more.
Right.
Because I know everything is gonna get bigger and bigger, and my blessings are gonna keep coming,
Right.
like they've been coming,
Yeah.
And
So, but here's my question: when we get the money,
Okay.
right? We count it out, we get it, we put it in the bank.
okay.
Do you just want to let it sit in the bank? What you want us to do with it?
I know, like I said, I know you gotta pay the bills.
Yeah,
you gotta
right,
pay all the bills,
right,
the expenses, utilities.
right.
I know for a fact with any type of business,
Right.
or building,
Because you have a business.
yes, most definitely.
Right. So what come with that?
What come with it is bills have to be paid and salaries have to be paid also, because it's actual people working in the church.
Right.
Outside the pastor,
Right.
Everybody else want to get paid too, right? So you gotta pay everybody.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, y'all. I want to know. Y'all tell me who all y'all think should get paid in the church. I want to know that. Tell me who you think should get paid. Should the pastor get paid?
Yeah.
Should he preach for free? I want to know. Now y'all tell me what y'all think. Should the pastor get paid, or should he be preaching for free? Should he be counseling for free? Should he be marrying people for free?
Should I get that counseling?
Should he be burying people for free?
Yeah.
Should he be dealing with your bad kids? Or what should he be doing? Tell me, what should he get paid? Or should he not get paid at all? We want to know that. And who else in the church should get paid? Should the musicians get paid? Should the choir directors get paid?
Everybody get paid.
Yeah, we want to know. And should people get paid to clean up their own church? I want to know. We want to know what y'all think we should be doing with this money. Should people get paid to clean up their own church?
Yeah.
So, you got elderly people in your church, right? And most of those people that are elderly in our church, they're on Social Security, right? They're drawing a Social Security check, and it's X amount of dollars a month, and it's going to be the same each and every month, whether they can afford to pay all their bills or not, buy their medicine and all of those things. Those checks are going to be the same. Do you believe that your church, or that our church, should be willing to commit to helping those who are elderly and can't take care of themselves, or need help or support taking care of themselves? Do you believe that that's the responsibility of the church? Or do you think that's the responsibility of the government? Should the government be the one that has to do all that? Or should the church step in for those people who have given to the church all their life, and now they've reached an age where they can't work anymore? Should the church be helping those people meet their necessary needs? I want to hear what y'all think about that. Now I'm going to plug New Generation Church right now, and I can't speak for no other churches, and I'm not here to do that, but I just want to talk to y'all about New Generation Church. If you're over the age of 62 and you've been at this church at least 1 year, on the first Sunday of every month, we write you a check for $250. Now, some people will take that and they'll say we buy members. But I think that we're doing what the Word of God tells us to do. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that's what we do. Now, Ma, I want to hear what you think. Now, what you think? You give a lot. I seen what you've been giving. I don't know if you hit the Powerball or you got a gun in the house or what. But boy, you've been giving a lot of money. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But tell me what you think. What should we be doing with the money?
Well, one, I give. So I'm going to tell you why I give, and then I'm going to tell you what I think we should be doing with the money. So I give towards the vision. I give towards the vision of the house of the church. If the vision of the house is connected with the vision I have for my house, then I'm going to give freely to that vision because I want to see that vision go forth. So, I mean, if the vision of the church is about helping elderly people, if the vision of the church is about helping people outside the church and inside the church, if the vision of the church is spreading the gospel and they're doing a good job with it, they're taking care of their members, I'm gonna give you a tenth and more if I can. Now, what do I think the church should be doing with the money? I think the church should be meeting the needs of the people that's within the church and outside the church, right? So, and any church can unpack that however they see fit.
Right. So again, what Ahmad just said, he said that the church should be using the money to meet the needs of the people, right? And I personally believe that we've gotten it twisted and turned around. Even when it comes to pastor, right? Even when it comes to pastors, the biggest servant in our churches should be the pastor. Not the people serving him, but him serving the people. Right? Jesus said, I didn't come to be served, but I came to serve. And so when people give tithes and offerings, the mom said that we should be using that money to meet the needs of the people. Now, many of you are watching today and you saying, man, well, I got a need right now, so I'll be there in a minute. Y'all, right? Yeah. And so I want y'all to tell me, I want to address a few things as we get into this. We talk about what the church is doing with my money. So we talk about meeting the needs of the people, right? We should meet the needs of the people. And I talk about how we bless our elderly people on the first Sunday. What about people who never give anything but always need something? Mm-hmm. What about the people, VJ, who never give anything? Yeah. When you pull the tithe off, they gave $10 in 3 years. Yeah. How should the church address that?
I can't say how the church would address it, but personally, I just, like I said, you can't really expect to receive anything spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever, without putting nothing in. Like, it's
so how should the church?
How should the church do it?
Yeah. When you come to me and you say, Pastor, I need $1,000.
Yeah.
And you got a good job, but you ain't gave me $10 in 3 years. What should the church do with that? Should we give you our money?
I don't know. I can't say what you should do, but I mean, I can't say what you should do, but I know that I give you your $10 back.
Hey, y'all hear that nigga? BJ said he'll get $10 back. About what you think? What you think? He done gave $10. What you think?
3 years. That's a long time.
That's a tough one.
You done gave $10. No, I need an answer. That ain't no answer. Yeah, I mean,
one side of me wants to give them $1,000. Another side of me wants to tell them, I really want to know what's been going on for the past, 3 years.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, I mean, I think that's where church comes in at, because I think sometimes we kind of just put the decision on one person. That's why a collective people should be making decisions within the church. So. I mean, like if it was just us three kind of just sitting here kind of make a decision off that, we should definitely be looking at, what's going on. It's a whole lot of questions with that, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Again, I would love to help that person, especially if they head on the street, because then we're going to turn around and help homeless people.
Right.
So, but at the same time, I mean, we all do have our own responsibilities. That's why you put money into the storehouse.
Right.
So if you hit rough times, you know, I can look and be like, hey, you done gave over
Right.
$1,000 in 3 years. Why
Right.
wouldn't I try to help
Right.
you? That definitely makes the decision a whole lot easier.
So if you just got on, some of you, I see some of you just got on live and you've been watching us. We're talking about what the church is doing with my money. And so I want you to comment, if you would, just comment and leave us some comments if you would today about what do you think? What do you think the church should be doing with your money? When you give your tithes and offerings and you sow it with expectancy, what do you want to see the church doing with your money? What would you like to see them doing with your money? The next thing I want to ask y'all today is do you think that tithing is biblical? Do you think you should be giving 10% to the church? When we look at statistics, we see that less than 5% of all people tithe faithfully to their church, give 10% of their income to their church. And so, do you think that you should be tithing and giving? And so here's the things that we have to address and look at, right? So we got Keisha, we got some of these people who are giving 10% faithfully, right? And then we got some of these people who are not giving anything at all, right? What about the person who is giving the money faithfully, right? And then you got the person who don't give anything at all, but the person who always never get nothing, they always need some help. How do you think the person who always giving feel about the person who never give anything, always getting help? Right?
That's unbalanced. Yeah, that's unbalanced. That's the way yeah. I think everything's supposed to have some type of balance in it.
Right. So there's a lot of things that goes into making the decisions with churches on how we make decisions on what we do with our finances, right? On who we help, right? On who we choose to not help, on why we choose to help them, on when we choose to help them, because here's the thing, if only less than 5% of the people are giving what they should be giving, then that tells you that we only got about 5% of the money that we should really have.
Correct.
Right. We only got about 5% of the money that we should have, which in turn means that sometimes you can only help do 5% of the stuff that you really should be doing.
Yeah, you can only get
Right? If you're only getting 5% of the money, you can only do 5% of what you should be doing. So a lot of times it's not that we don't want to do it, right? A lot of times it's not that we don't have a heart to do it, because even with our church, we do a lot of things in the community, but we would like to do a lot more. Like, we've got ideas to do a lot more. If you go to church here, and you're a freshman in college, we give you $500 a semester if you keep your grades up for the first year. $500 a semester if you keep your grades up for the first year. We would love to be able to write a check for bigger than $500 a semester, right? But you can't give what you don't have, right? Does that make sense? And so
in the perfect world, if everybody was given as they were supposed to, it would be nothing to write $1,000 check.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But since the fact that less than 10% is carrying mostly all churches, you operating with about 10% of what that body could be working with. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's hard making those kind of decisions because you're really working with limited resources. Right.
Yeah, and so when we look at churches look at memberships as a whole, and then we look at how people give. The resources are often limited, very, very limited, when you compare it to the amount of people that you have in your congregation, if that makes sense. And so I want to talk a little bit about things that I believe from a biblical standpoint that churches should do to help in our communities, right? And so earlier I talked about the elderly people in the church, and to me, that's near and dear to my heart because I'm really for people who can't do for themselves. Mm-hmm. And when you're 75 years old, you're not in a position where you can go get a job and you can work each and every day. So you're really at the mercy of whatever you're getting on a monthly basis. And so I definitely think churches should be helping our elderly people in situations and circumstances. I also think that it's important for us to be a good foundation for single parents. Mm-hmm. I think that it is important for us to be a good support system and foundation for parents who are single, whether it be male or female, who are working each and every day, trying to take care of their children, trying to make ends meet. Because many of you know today, even if there's 2 of you in the household working, it is still hard to make ends meet when there's 2 people in the household working. It's even harder when there's 1 person that's working. So y'all tell me today what y'all think about that. What do you think about that, BJ, as far as the church being there for single parents?
Yeah, I believe, that's what I'm saying. I think that, the church should be there for the entire community as far as, the people that need the help. Some people are just not willing to step out there sometimes. I think, and that's what kind of separates them. And I think you should, I think the church will always help out the less fortunate. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
Yeah, I believe that.
Right. What do you think about?
Reference to the single parents?
Right.
Definitely. I mean, that's hands down. If anybody in the church does not have a heart for single parents, you might need to check yourself as a Christian. For real. I mean, they working hard, they struggling, they doing, in instances, they being the father and the mother, and that's challenging. And so, they living off one income.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know how much daycare costs nowadays? I got 2 kids in school right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's crazy. So yeah, we should definitely be helping our single parents, male or female, within the church. We should definitely be helping our elderly that's within the church,
right.
Especially when they some of them can't even take care of themselves. It's hard financially,
right,
out here, and so yeah, definitely need to be taking care of them.
Right. So here's the thing that we see often, and here's I think sometimes as churches, you know what I'm saying, that we allocate our funds in the wrong things. I think that we allocate our funds oftentimes for buildings that we only use once or twice a week, and I think that the money should be put into the people and not into the building.
Correct.
Right. That's why I think that the Lord is excited when we begin to put our money, invest our money into the people, and not into trying to build the biggest church. Take a kid that you got that's trying to go to college, right? And he's doing everything he can do to try to go to college, and he's almost got all of his needs met, but he just need a little more help to pay his tuition or to pay his room and board. I think that's where the church is supposed to come in and try to make a difference with that kid to meet their needs. Now of course, you can't fix every single situation, but there are some situations that I think we should step in when it comes to our youth and be a blessing to them. When you got a kid who's got a job and the kid is playing sports and the kid is doing everything that the parents is saying that they should do, and that kid, the parents can't afford to get him a vehicle. You know what I mean? But it's the kid, the model citizen. I think that the church should come in to play there and do something to help that kid get a vehicle so they can get back and forth to work and take their younger siblings to school and different things like that. I think that's who God has called us to be as a church with our finances. Yeah. I don't believe that we should try to build the nicest building. Yeah. Right.
And those things cost money.
Yeah. Right. They cost money. They take money.
It costs money to have a children's area within your church. Right. It costs money to put stuff in there for them to have a good time.
Right.
It costs. And you talked about who should get paid in the church. Sometimes some churches, they have to hire somebody to take care of the kids because a lot of folk in the church don't even want to be bothered with them. So you have to hire somebody to take on the kids within the church to make sure they have a healthy and safe youth ministry within the church.
Right. So he said sometimes we got to hire somebody to work in the children's area because people don't want to volunteer to deal with your kids. And let me say this, some of y'all kids, I understand. Some of y'all kids, I understand, they couldn't pay me to watch them.
And then you got to deal with, a plethora of them at the same time.
Yeah, right. So we have to pay people to work in our children's church, right? We have to a lot of different areas to make things run smoothly. Because you want to go to a church where they have a separate service for your children. where your children can be learning, where they can leave their game systems outside in the car, and they can come in here and learn about Jesus the way you did when you were growing up. And so it takes finances to run the church in each and every area. If your church has a van, they probably got a van payment. If they they probably got insurance on the van. They got to pay insurance on the building. They got to buy toilet paper when you go in the bathroom. All those things cost money, and so those are some of the things that are very evident. That's just the necessary things that churches have to do. But then, what are the things that we have to do when we get outside of the walls of the church? When we leave here on Sunday, where should we be spending our money in the community once we leave here? Once we leave here on Sunday, you know what I'm saying? There are some of the same issues in every community, right? There are people who are hungry in every community. There are people who are homeless in every community. There are people who are struggling with addiction and all those things in every single community you go in. And so how should the church meet some of the needs of those people? How do you think the church should meet some of the needs of the people once we get outside of the walls of the church?
Yeah. So one is it's biblical. God tells us that we need to definitely take care of the homeless. He tells us that we need to take care of the elderly. So, you kind of unpack some of that stuff. It looks like nursing homes. It looks like homeless camps. It looks like food banks. Even helping, when it pertains to hospitals, because people are hurting in hospitals. God gives us an outline of what to do with the money outside the church. The thing is, we have to do what he say in order to do it. When you follow God's plan, then he brings more money into your storehouse.
Right.
So, the churches have to do a good job at finding out what God said do, and then we unpack that in our own community.
Right.
So if God said, take care of people outside the church that's homeless, if he said take care of people outside the church that ain't got no clothes, they ain't got no food, then just do it and figure out, what that looks like in Conway, what that looks like in Little Rock, what that looks like in Central Arkansas. We just got to figure out what that looks like. But all of the answers in the Bible, we just got to do it. And
right.
do it the way that unpacks in our community.
Right. So BJ, let's say somebody come one Sunday, and let's say y'all in the office counting the money or whatever, and let's say they say, I want y'all to show me where my money been going. How would you handle that?
Somebody coming in and asking me?
Yeah. I want you to show me where my money been going.
I have to show that we still been in business as far as opening up every Sunday. We still having
right.
We got our chairs are nice.
Right.
We got a children's service.
Right.
We always giving back to the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We always feeding the homeless. We feed the church every Sunday.
Right.
It goes towards a lot of.
You gotta be able to see.
Yeah, you
can see. Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Really, if we're doing the right thing, you should be able to tell by what's happening around us if we're doing the right thing. You should be able to say. You really shouldn't have to ask any questions. If you got to ask some questions, then that's a problem, right? Because you should be able to see the fruits of what we do. Matter of fact, you really should be saying, I don't know how we're able to do all of that. Because I don't know how we're able to do everything we do, right? We ought to be questioning how we're able to do all of that.
Yeah, especially so, 5%.
Donna Bell Gibson said, Deuteronomy 14:22, be sure to set aside a tenth of all your fields produced each year. And then she says Malachi 3, it says, bring all ye your tithes to the storehouse. Girl, who your pastor? Got them scriptures. Yeah, so we ought to bring all our tithes to the storehouse. And so I just want to say tonight, if you're watching tonight, that wherever you go to church at, it is so important that everybody, every single person, do what is right so that the church can function in the way that it needs to function. Right? It takes finances for us to be able to feed people on Sundays, to feed people throughout the week. In order for us to be able to help single families pay their rent, somebody's got to give something, right? if everybody would just give what they're supposed to give, we would always have enough to help those that are in need. But the problem is that the Bible says we're one body but many members. But we need every single part of the body to do what it's supposed to do. And if every part of the body will do what it's supposed to do, then we can meet the needs of the community like we're really supposed to. Sometimes the church gets a bad name because they don't feel like we're doing what we should be doing out in the community. Oftentimes the reason that those things don't take place is not because as churches we don't want to, but it's because as churches we don't have the resources to. We don't have the resources to. And so wherever you go to church this evening, if you're watching, recommit yourself to giving your 10% to the church, your tithes and your offering, so that those who may be less fortunate, the church will be in a position to be there for them. One day you might be that person that's less fortunate, that person that loses their job, that can't make ends meet. We just seen in this pandemic that life is so uncertain. One day everything is fine, and the next day people are being laid off. Don't know when they're going to be able to go back to work. Don't know how quickly things can change. If the church is in a position the way it should be, types of things happen. The church should be able to kick in faster than your unemployment. Right? Faster than your unemployment, we should be able to kick in and meet the needs of those that are in the church. I'm gonna close with this tonight. Just asked VJ and Ahmad to just talk to those out there that are your friends, and just tell them the benefits that you feel like you've seen in your life since you started giving, and even when it was hard for you, when you wasn't giving. Talk about how you got to a place to where you was giving, and what has benefited you in your life.
I think I've been tithing on and off in life. I started tithing, I think, when I lived in, I started tithing a long time ago. So, I mean, at times when it's hard, I'll admit, I wasn't able to give like I wanted to give. And I probably wasn't even able to reach a tenth like I wanted to reach a tenth. But there's been times to where I've given way more than a tenth. And I think that God was pleased. I had to make a decision at one point in my life that I'm going to give to God regardless of my situation. And I use wisdom with that too. I do use wisdom with that. And so, I mean, God, when I give to God, He definitely shows me that He got my back. I mean, you know, when I give to God and I know I'm giving from a place of in my heart from God, even if it's to a church or to a person that's, you know, outside the church or something like that, God always shows me ways that He's saving me from financial resources and things like that. So I have seen a great benefit when it comes to me tithing. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Now, it's one thing I do want to say before you close, yeah. Right? So I want to be very clear, because we said some stuff earlier. I want to be very clear that I think that the pastor should be getting paid. I want to be very clear that I think the preacher, especially those who labor in the word, they should be getting paid. Mm-hmm. Anybody who labor in the church that much, and there's multiple people, they should be getting paid. I think that churches, we do have to fight this stigma of churches mismanaging funds. And so it makes it harder for people to give, and that's something in church leadership we have to go back and rectify that. Right. We have to go show people that we are doing what God said do with the church's money. Because sometimes people, they just frustrated, period, because some people don't even want to give to the church because they know your church ain't doing what you're supposed to do. Right. And that ain't their fault. Right. We'll just say, well, give out of faith. Right. But if the church is not managing the money correctly, right. Right. I can't give to the church. That's probably when you need to move membership. Yeah. And you shouldn't be at a place where you should not be at a place that you know is mismanaging your money, and you don't want to give because they're mismanaging. You shouldn't even be at that place. You should find a place where you know they're doing the right thing with the money. Or at least be transparent. Yeah, or be transparent about it. What you think, BJ?
I believe the same thing as far as you're gonna have to give something to get it. You're gonna have to give something to get something. Mm-hmm. And that's just biblical, and you can say that's just how the word works. And for me and personally in my life, that's how God has always worked for me. It's like, if I don't put no work in and put my hands on nothing,
Right,
how can I expect you just to drop out the sky
And
with
not
no
gonna
work
happen.
put in?
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, work. That's work without, what is it? Faith without work is dead.
Right.
So I can believe all day, but if it don't happen, if I don't put nothing in or touch nothing, yeah, it's not gonna benefit me. And that's what I have discovered, coming to this church, and then even in my finances, even in my marriage, and even in my life. Just with connecting with you and connecting with Ahmad, it's made my life a lot better as far as me connecting with other men and growing in life. And actually watching a representation of how to treat a wife, or just things that you guys do that I can pick up on.
Right.
That I know for sure it's the right way, because with me coming to here, I'm always reaping the benefits as far as growing.
Right.
I love to grow.
Right.
I love to grow in wisdom, man.
Right.
It's a feeling that you get here that people gotta feel it once they get here. Once you get here, you'll feel it.
Right.
Even in the people in the congregation, you can tell that people love being here. They can
Right.
feel the love. They can feel the love that you pushing off.
Yeah.
Everybody that's around.
Right.
That's a good feeling. And I'm telling you this: if you're not getting nothing out of the place that you supposed to receiving that spirituality and that mental stability in your life, you need to switch churches.
Yeah, we didn't tell him to say all that.
I'm just saying, hey, they dancing all these videos.
Yeah.
Come on, whatever now.
Yeah.
Come on over, man, because hey, you gonna benefit here. You gonna benefit here, man. You gonna make sure that you gonna receive, or you gonna see what's going on here. You're gonna be able to feel it as soon as you get in these doors, man.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So I'm glad VJ gave us some free publicity. Yeah, so man, we glad you guys that y'all tuned in, watch us again on this Friday. We, the last 2 Fridays we've been crunk, talking about the men and women. So we want to bring it down a little bit. We want to bring it down a notch or two, and talk to y'all about a little more, spiritual stuff, what's going on in church. And next Friday we're gonna talk about why hasn't the church called me, and that's kind of addressing those people who have been gone from the church for a while and haven't heard from the church. And we want to talk about why maybe you haven't heard from your church, and deal with that. And so we're going to give y'all 2 weeks, so we're going to take it down a little bit. And then after that, we're going to bring it back up again. We're going to get it back up again. So after that, we're going to bring the men and women back together. We're going to bring them back together. We're going to talk about what a man needs and what a woman needs, but we're going to do it together. And then the Friday after that, we're going to talk about, I'm a Christian. Should I be watching porn?
Fresh off the press.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian.
Should I be watching?
Should I be watching porn? Yeah, that's a hot topic, baby. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to know.
Yeah.
So next Friday, we're going to talk about why haven't I heard from my church. Then the next following Friday, we're going to talk about what a man and woman needs from each other, but we're going to have the men and women together, round table talk. And then the next Friday, we're going to talk about I'm a Christian. Should I be watching porn? Y'all like that topic?
Yeah, where do you get these titles from? You get these titles from?
I can't wait! I can't wait to hear what they got to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so thank y'all again for watching us on today, man. We enjoyed it. Hope y'all guys enjoyed it, man. And also thank you to all of you who have been cash apping us to help with with us helping the single parents and for what we're doing with feeding the city of Conway. I want to say thank you to all of you who have been supporting that financially. If you enjoyed watching us today and you want to support us financially, you can cash app us at $NGC15 or $NGC20. We would love for you to cash app us today. Again, I want to give VJ a special thank you for coming down today and being with us. He has a barber school in Little Rock, so if you're looking to cut some hair, we want you to go down there and get with him. He also has these baskets.
Yeah, this is a basket that we
Go ahead.
you know, this is a way that we've been giving back. You know, a lot of people been giving back their own way, but me and my wife, she's an 8-year breast cancer survivor, and me and my wife give back. Our way of giving back is giving feel-good baskets to breast cancer patients.
Wow.
That have been going through that some are going through and some have already been through, and we just just give them baskets, and it's free. It's just to whoever is feeling down or is going through what they're going through, we just help them go through it a little bit easier. And you can contact us at My Pink Mood, Facebook, Instagram, and even now we're gonna give away this basket to whoever in the church or whoever clicks in and says that needs it. Breast cancer wise or going through that treatment process. They always need a little pick me up.
Right.
Sure. Most definitely. So that's just something we do right here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what is it? What's the website? What tell us again, VJ?
Well, the Facebook is My Pink Mood, My Pink PINK Mood MOOD on Facebook, and it's on Instagram also. And that's what we do. Like I said, it's pretty much catered towards breast cancer. My wife has a non-profit organization that's catered specifically towards breast cancer. And this is what we do to give back to the community during this pandemic.
That's amazing, man. With so many people partnering with us during this time, I only think it's right that we partner with y'all. So we're gonna partner $250 with what y'all are doing. I want to say now, I didn't know that I didn't even know that y'all was doing that. I'm glad y'all, you know what I'm saying. But I think that's awesome in a time like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For people to spend their own money to brighten other people's day. I want to say that is just amazing, and so we're gonna partner with y'all on that because people have been partnering with us, and it's only right that we partner with y'all, man. So I think that's amazing. I want to say, man, God has sent some amazing people to this church. You know what I'm saying? So many amazing people to this church, man. And they live in y'all live in Benton?
Yeah, we stay in Bryan.
They stay in Bryan. They drive all the way from Bryan to Conway, Arkansas, every single Sunday to go to church. And so for all y'all, my members out there that live in Conway, that don't show up, y'all know what it is. Yeah. Okay, well, you got anything you want to say, Mom, before we get ready to leave here, man?
Good. I got one more thing.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like I said, you always make sure you get something or give somewhere where you're getting something at. And that's why I said, this is how we give it back. But also, we have opened up a new barber college. It's a new barber college to the city, and it's on Bowman Road. It's called Legendary Institute. We also have a Facebook and a website, legendaryinstitute.org, if you would like to sign up for classes. We are now trying to offer the online classes to keep it going, to keep everybody in the learning process. So just give us a call and contact us, and we'll get you started. And also, we're giving away a $5,000 scholarship to a student that's strong about it, that's got that high passion about being a barber or getting into this industry. So we just helping them with paying half of their tuition and making it a lot easier on them. So,
man, y'all go see VJ. Y'all go see him. He said he's giving away a $5,000 scholarship. Y'all heard I said? Hey, they gonna meet you halfway.
Yes, sir.
So go check him out. You know what I'm saying? And, hey, got his business off the ground, so we need to go out there and support him. Power to the people. You understand?
That's what's up.
All right, we're gonna see y'all tomorrow at 6:30. We got a treat for y'all tomorrow at 6:30. We're gonna be streaming live a message on tomorrow. I got a big surprise for y'all, so I want y'all to tune in. And y'all remember, in two, not next Friday, but the following Friday, we got the men and the women together. They're gonna be talking about what they need from each other. Then after that, we got I'm a Christian. Shall be watching porn. I know y'all ready for that one. May God keep you. May God bless you. NGC for life. Amen.